Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Cricket on Forever Sports for today's Day 2 wrap-up between South Africa and Pakistan. A very interesting day and not too many wickets, and South Africa definitely on the back foot, on the back of a superb century by Fawad Alam, which has really put Pakistan on top. Before we look at the entire match in the complexity of it and break down the day's play, please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner there, smash like on the video. And what we have seen today is test match batting, and something that I think South Africa has lacked in this, particularly in the first innings, and even against Sri Lanka to a certain degree. Patience. Test cricket is a 5-day game. There's so much time in Test cricket, but we are not seeing South Africans being patient enough. If you go look at the South African innings, and you go look at the strike rates, and you've got Dean Elgar 54, Aiden Markham 81, Rasmus Dustin 56, Faf du Plessis 50, Quinton de Kock 65, Tim Bavuma 25, George Lindley 54, Rabada 58, 53. And you compare that to the Pakistan batting, and this is what's been so important for them. Imran Butt 36, Abid Ali 44, Azhar Ali 51 runs scored at a 33 strike rate. Okay, then Fawad Alam's 109 came off 245 deliveries, a strike rate of 44. That is a test innings. You know, Mohammad Rizwan 33 of 59, a very important knock, a strike rate of 55. And then Fahim Ashraf, who got bowled by Nokia, 64 of 84, 76. So he was a bit more sort of counter-attacking as the wicket started falling. But what we saw was an absolute test masterclass by Fawad Alam, because he just took his time. And that's the thing. That's what you need to do in Test cricket. He realized the situation. He said, you can just see that the attitude was, we've got days to bat. They could have batted until the end of tomorrow, of day 3, if they really wanted to, or if they had lasted long, you know, and they needed to have that attitude. And that's what he did. And he just stuck in there, and he just stuck around. And, you know, he waited for the bad balls, and he rotated the strike when he needed to, but he stuck there, and he played a very good test innings. And I think that's something that South Africa needs to be much more patient with, is when they're batting. We are not constructing an innings. You know, we are getting, I mean, Quinton de Kock throwing his wicket at just 15, trying to go over the top. There was no need to play the shot he played. You know, even George Lindley to a certain degree, you know, there wasn't a need to play the shot he played. Rasmus Dustin, Tim Bavuma, you know, being run out, there was no need to try and take those risks. We need to be more patient. I think that's the biggest issue with South African batting, is that we're getting ourselves out because there isn't enough patience to build a Pajari innings. Go and score 100 at a strike rate of 35 to 45. You know, go and stick around there for enough time and accumulate the runs. Because as a result, it's the end of day 2, and Pakistan are sitting with an 88-run lead, which is massive. That means that South Africa are going to have to get up to 100 just to sort of be level, and then go try and pile an extra 250 on. You know, so South Africa probably, if assuming we can go and bowl Pakistan out tomorrow early for sort of a 100 lead, South Africa will go and have to put on a score of 300 plus to try and be competitive in the game. And that's a very big ask for a side which didn't seem to have the patience in the first innings. So a lot of lessons that can be learned from Pakistan. Thankfully, a couple of wickets falling eventually, and so we are into the tail, and we'll start again tomorrow with Hassan Ali and Numan Ali with just Yasir Shah left. So hopefully it shouldn't take too long to knock those batsmen off. But you know, they're in the driving seat, and because they had 250s and 100, and that makes all the difference. And somebody scoring a century in an innings puts you on top. You know, it's very rare that you score, somebody scores 100 and you're not more than sort of 250, close to the 300 mark, as long as you've got a couple of people batting around. And that was the issue. We needed Dean Elgar to go deep, get onto 100, but we needed more support. We need to have 2-3 players getting up to the sort of 50-run mark. So at this stage, the bats are not putting their weight. You know, the bowlers, especially after being on top, was quite frustrating. It took us so long to find the breakthrough this morning. But at the beginning of the test, they did speak to how it was going to be a really good batting surface. So I think it was a huge surprise that we saw 14 wickets fall on day 1. So day 2, Pakistan are in at the driver's seat. In terms of the wicket takers, Maharaj, I mean, somebody who really needed to perform this test, he's gotten the wickets of Azhar Ali and Babar Azam. So can't complain too much. Ngidi eventually got Fawad Alam as well as Mohammad Rizwan. So if you look at the bowling stats at the moment over the sort of entire innings, we've got Rabada, Nokia, Ngidi and Maharaj all with 2 wickets. I think the most disappointing has been probably been George Lindley, who's yet to pick up a stick. Hasn't been particularly expensive, going for about 2.95 and over, but you know, not necessarily creating as many chances. And I think like to be a bit more tacky and try and create the chance, because that was the issue. You look at how in the South African innings, Yasir Shah took 3 wickets and Newman Ali took 2 wickets. So, half the wickets were being taken by spinners, and yet just 2 wickets have been taken by spin in the Pakistan innings. And a lot to do with the fact that they are better than us at playing spin. We are horrible at playing spin, but we do know our spinners to do better. We can't just rely on our seamers in what could be termed as unfavourable seam conditions, although the ball is reversing. And we saw a beautiful delivery by Ngidi to get Mohammad Rizwan, a fantastic catch by Faf du Plessis as well. But I think also, if you look at sort of the field placing, something that Dale Cullen in the commentary was saying that he was really upset at the field placing and just the fact that often there wasn't a slip in place and that there were like 3 leg side catches. So I think at the moment, you're also seeing a situation where South Africa are trying to almost be too clever and trying to sort of, just try and be creative about the field instead of just setting a stock set field and going, right, bolt to a line, bolt to a plan, let's go with the normal field, let's see if we can get anything else. If that's still not working, that's when you can start getting creative. But we saw them getting creative, almost for the sake of it, which is, I think it's a bit frustrating. And I think that shows a little bit of inexperience, and also it shows you how South Africa's identity isn't quite settled. We don't quite have Rabada's going to bowl like this in one end, and Ngidi's going to bowl like this on the other end. We're going to set up this sort of field, and this is how we're going to construct a wicket. Back when we had Philander, Morne Morkel, Dale Steyn, you could see plans, and the fact that one would often hold up an end and just not go for any runs, and the other one would take wickets in the other end because they were building pressure. There hasn't quite been that sort of bowling combination so far this test. So a lot to work for South Africa. So the big point is tomorrow is to go tomorrow and knock over the wickets very quickly. And then, Markram and Dean Elgar are going to have to grind out tomorrow. If we are in tomorrow in the first session, we need to make sure that we are batting by the end of the day. We have absolutely no chance if we have lost 3, 4, 6, 7 wickets by the end of today's play. Tomorrow we need to go and bat for the rest of the day and bat on day 4. Try and bat to day 4 T, and then have 4 sessions at them. If you can put a lead of 200-300, and have 3 sessions to bowl at them, it suddenly sort of sets it up where Pakistan will probably go on a sort of defensive look to ground out a test and see if they can get close to a position. As opposed to, if you can get to 200 lead with 2 days, with Pakistan going, right, well, all we have to do is stick around for long enough and we'll chase it down. So a big day tomorrow. Day 3 is always the sort of turning point. Day 2, day 3 is often where the test match shifts. So tomorrow is the big day where hopefully South Africa can knock off the last 2 wickets, and then they need to go and establish a platform. It's time for the batting to start producing more. And they did against Sri Lanka, but it was a very weakened attack. It is now time for that batting line to start standing up, because we can't just rely on our bowling line all sort of bailing out. And they almost did so far, but Pakistan have fought back very well, and as a result are on top, rightfully. So yeah, let me know what you think is happening in the test down below in the comments. Do subscribe to the channel, like a video on as well. We'll be doing back tomorrow with a day 3 wrap-up, so make sure you keep it locked on Forever Sports. Thank you very much. My name is Stephen, and I'll chat to you soon.